you're looking live at beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico, side of this evening's SFL matchup between the Chicago Warriors and the Albuquerque Atoms with playoff implications on the line. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Cameron Duty, and I'm with my partner, Alex West. Alex, good to be back with you again. We have two teams who, to quote the Bee Gees, are just trying to stay alive in the quest for the postseason. Albuquerque needs to win to keep pace in a tight race. For Chicago, however, a loss tonight, and they're out. What or who do you have your eyes on in this pivotal matchup?
Well, tonight, Cameron, a lot's going to come down to the performance of both quarterbacks here, because in the case of Cyrus Jive and the Atoms, they have a very prolific passing attack that has been very efficient and effective through the air, and they're going to try and continue to maintain that. Meanwhile, Ty Patak with the Warriors has a heavy burden on his shoulders as he tries to throw for more touchdowns and interceptions tonight. That has been a trouble for him so far this season.
It's going to be a good matchup, folks. We are excited to have you with us for another night of great SFL action. As we like to say around these parts, don't go anywhere for the next hour and a half or so. You don't want to miss a single second. First matchup between these two teams. The kick is fielded. They bring it out across the 20 to the 24-yard line. And that is where we will say hello to Albuquerque for the first time this evening. You mentioned led by Cyrus Jive, the two halfbacks, Craig Reynolds and Jason Williams, and the fullback, Justin Williams. The two wide receivers, Ronnie Shanahan, Michael Knight, Greg Corky, and Kay Marion. The tight end is Jack Wall. The tackle is Queen Porter, and the two guards are Jarian Jones and Leah Williams. First and 10 for the Atoms. Jive to go to the air. The pass is complete. He finds Jack Wall for an immediate first and 10.
And this is exactly what this Albuquerque offense wants to do early. Establish the pass and let Cyrus Jive get in rhythm to start hitting his receivers. That opens up their rushing attack as well, which has had its moments, Jason Williams being the bell cow back.
Just past the 40-yard line as Jive goes back to work. Throwing again, the pass complete once more. Finding his wide receiver target, Greg Corky, that time. First to 10, let's say hello to the Chicago defense quickly. The defensive ends, Connor O'Shaughnessy, Darko Young, and P. Fudor. The defensive tackle is Sean Parent. The linebacking core of Matthias Titrian, Tabo Kanan, and Aaron Gooden. The cornerbacks, K. Magic, Derek Majors, Ricky Robinson. And at the safety positions, it's Alex Bond, Doug Day, and Nate Hall. So, first and 10, Albuquerque still on the move early in this game. We are just now a minute into this first quarter. Pressure coming around the edge. Cyrus gets it off. Complete to Kay Marion. And she picks up the Adams' third straight first down.
And once again, we see some calm, cool, collected actions in the pocket from Jive. He diagnoses the zone coverage, and there's an opportunity to hit the slant route in the soft spot, and he takes advantage. This is an excellent start to this game, and the home crowd's got to be thrilled.
You mentioned the effectiveness of Cyrus Jive this season, 13 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions, a QBR rating of 87.7. He's protected with the football, and again, another first down. Again, complete to Jack Wall. And Chicago right now struggling to stop this Adams offense.
They're looking. Their linebackers just hold in position where they're doubling and they're incredible play call.
First and 10 now for the Adams. Throwing again over the middle, and you don't get much better than that. Every pass was converted to a first down, and it's Greg Corky who completes an effective drive. Albuquerque goes on top.
All too easy here. Once again, it's diagnosing the zone coverage, seeing that the cornerbacks here are over on the edge, seeing the safeties are playing high, and these slant routes are absolutely lethal on this drive. Chicago has to come up with another coverage.
For Albuquerque, we mentioned as the extra point is good by Ricky Bobby, just how important it is for them to continue on this streak. that they are on. Albuquerque coming into this game, Alex, they're 3 straight wins in, going for a 4th straight. They started the season, out 2-4. They've found something late into this season.
They certainly have, but at the same time, just look at what we're seeing here on this opening drive. We've got 5 passing plays that just march them down the field as easy as you like, no runs.
A nice return by Chicago, but we do have a flag on the play. Face mask on the kicking team, so Fullerton's return is going to be, we'll take him down to the 38-yard line where Chicago will set up shop. Chicago, as we said, it's win, here out. It's important, it's as clear as we can put it. They got to win today to stay alive, but they need some help. If Lexington or the opposing Albuquerque or DP wins this weekend, they will be out of playoff contention. But the most important thing they can do right now is that pass falls incomplete to Ryan Orlovsky, is to continue to win to stay alive, Alex.
And just to pile onto that, it's not just this weekend, it's any weekend. Any of these 5-win teams picking up a 6th win will automatically eliminate every 7-loss team in the league. Chicago is on that list.
We're trying to answer here, Chicago, after the 5-play 75-yard drive that Albuquerque was able to complete just a moment ago. We'll say hello to the starting offense in just a moment. The handoff goes for a couple. That's 3rd and 8. This Chicago offense, quarterback type attack. The halfbacks Norman Gus, J.W. Doyle, and fullback Dean Jackson. The wide receiving core of Kyle Fenimore, Ryan Orlovsky, Cannon Simons, and John Fullerton. The tight end is Paulie Truth. The tackle is Maddie Mack, and the guards Kobe B, Jeff Fullerton Galarraza, and at center, Sean Sullivan. A big 3rd and 8 coming up here for this Chicago Warriors team. Patak rolling out into the football, and he gets completely obliterated by Leo Jefferson, 6'6", 315 pounds, his first year with Albuquerque from coming over from Atlanta.
And he just puts a little swim move to break free of the blocker, but because Patak is feeling some pressure and he tries to roll out, the shift from Leo to move to the outside in the first place just has him on a straight up collision course, and it's the semi versus the Prius.
David Roosh now on to attempt this punt, and he gets a good one away, and it is going to be fair caught right around the 30. They'll mark him at the 29-yard line. So as we said, we're talking about a playoff picture for Albuquerque. We mentioned they can't be clinched, or can they be eliminated this week. They have to continue to keep winning, though. They are 2nd place in the West Division, Alex, behind the Scorpions of Arizona, who are long gone.
Long gone. Well away at 8-2. There's no hope of catching up. They're dangling at 12 on the wild card position, so they need to continue winning out to keep their playoff hopes alive, because Lexington and DC are right with them at 5 and 5 each.
The first running play of the day goes to Jason Williams. He gets 3, 2nd and 7. Quickly to the line comes the Albuquerque Adams. Back to the ground game for a 2nd straight play. A nice, solid hit that time after Reynolds is on the carry. And it's 3rd and 2.
What I liked about that one too was some nifty blocking up front, because the Albuquerque front were able to push open that A gap on the left side off the shoulder of the center.
On the ground on this 3rd down play, and they're able to convert. 1st and 10, Williams with the carry. Of course, Jason Williams, that is, both Jason and Justin. You'll see them getting quite a few carries on the evening. And it's 1st and 10. Albuquerque still no signs of slowing down as we approach the midway point of this 1st quarter. Man in motion to the bottom of your screen. Drive to throw. Plenty of time. Drops it off underneath. And that pass is completed to Corky, who gets close to the 1st down, gain of 8. And really, what more can you say when you gain 8 yards on 1st down? The defense really needing to put some pressure and turn up the heat. It's not happening yet.
Not at all, and the playbook is wide open here. They could just look to get 2 yards. It looks like they may go that route, but there's a potential to take a deep shot here.
The Adams standing right on the midfield logo. Oh, and a play on the ground, and finally, for the first time, Chicago able to get a little bit of penetration there, and it's Alex Bond with the tackle. So a crucial 3rd and 2 coming up.
And that's a moment where these 3 rookie linemen, that's right, the Adams have 3 rookie linemen, and they aren't able to generate as much push as the coach would like.
3rd and 2 again on the ground. It's going to be close. They're going to say that Williams gets just enough, and he does, across the yellow marker you see on your screen there. This drive will continue, so the Chicago defense starting to tighten up just a little bit. The ground game not able to make a lot of big gains, but they get just enough there.
Some very hard running and some extra hard blocking by Leah Williams, left guard.
That time, again, the ground game going nowhere, as it was Craig Reynolds in on the carry, and he is brought down by Nate Hall, and that was a whale of an effort.
It was, and I feel like this is a missed opportunity. I feel like they're having a lot of success with the pass. So far, Cyrus is 6 of 6. Now it's an obvious passing down.
Very interesting how they went completely to the air attack on the first drive. Now they have been committed primarily to the running game on this second series, and it's that Chicago defense again, double teaming Williams that time, and that goes for a loss, and it puts them in a precarious situation at 3rd and 12. No doubt, you know, they have to go to the air here.
Back-to-back negative plays. The first negative play and then the second negative play. 2 runs. It's ugly. Now it's a 5-wide situation.
Corky going in motion. Keep an eye. They like to use him in that way. We'll see Jive look towards him often. On 3rd and 12, plenty of time. Jive to throw. He has all day. He finds his man. No, off the hands of the intended target, Michael Knight. So a good defensive stand, and Chicago, for lack of a better word, really is able to wake up defensively and force the 4th down punt.
Absolutely, and they finally have it diagnosed. They call a man coverage instead of a zone concept, and the cornerback is able to lay that hit, or the coverage man is able to lay that hit as soon as Knight is trying to bring it in to stop it cold.
Buzz Killington with his first punt of the day, and it is fair caught at the 18-yard line. Folks, we want to again thank you for checking us out this wonderful Sunday evening. Cameron Duty with Alex West, Ron Haynes, and Eddie Gage on stats, and Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters. First and 10 now for Chicago, looking to generate some offensive motion here. They keep it on the ground, and they're going to give forward progress there. Yeah, that's a nice, I guess we'll say a generous spot, if you will, because there wasn't much there for the fullback, or halfback rather, J.W. Dole.
That's not how you gain first downs. You really need to be doing better on these first down runs.
Top attack now to throw the pass. Oh, somehow was able to fit that in between 2 defenders. Now we have a flag. They will get pass interference on the defense. They call that on Amar Bryant Jr. First and 10, and let's talk quickly, an incredible reception there for Chicago.
Just crazy to see that ball caught between 2 Albuquerque defenders, just slotting right in the zone, in the gap there. An incredible catch.
And that has to be a momentum booster, a morale booster, if you will, for Chicago. Fake handoff, Patak rolling out, complete again. A great play for Buchanan Simons. That's first and 10 Chicago. They've got something cooking.
And Ty Patak is not afraid to huck the football deep, and he's certainly showing his willingness to do so here, challenging the one-on-one coverage, daring Daniel Valentine to do something about it, and Daniel just overplays and tries to go over the left shoulder instead of the right.
2 minutes remaining in this opening quarter of action here. The SFL, Chicago, the throw, complete. Oh, they're going to say that that's a fumble. We'll see. That is picked up and ran back the other way by Jack Napier. I think we'll have to see if they are going to say he had possession of that before the hit was leveled. But for the moment, it's a fumble.
Oh, I expect a challenge flag any second now if this isn't a booth review, because that looked like he hadn't even had a chance to bring himself to the ground with both feet, much less make a football move. But what a hit.
A big hit, absolutely rocked his world. But let's take a look at the Retroid Retroactive play. Get your console to play SFL on the go at goretroid.com as we go under the hood, Alex.
And I just can't wait to see this hit again, because this is a rough one to lay down on someone. Boom! Is that Jack Napier over there on the edge? Or is that is an absolutely monstrous hit to lay down.
Actually, Mar Bryant.
Aha.
And as you can hear, the receiver did not have possession. The ruling on the field is overturned. Chicago is not charged a timeout, and this drive has been saved for the moment.
The former Chicago Warrior, back when they were still the Nemesis, definitely trying to make a statement there against his old team.
And after this play, we will introduce this Albuquerque defense. We have yet to be able to do that. So much action flying around the football field. 2nd and 10 for Chicago. Keep it on the ground. Oh, getting pushed back and then completely leveled is number 45, J.W. Doyle, and he takes a shot. I believe that was William Patterson in. Let's say hello to this defense. As we mentioned, the defensive end, Chris Porter, the defensive tackles, Leo Jefferson and Joshua Williams. The linebacking core, Seth Berlin, Keenan Samuels, William Patterson. The cornerbacks, Amar Bryant Jr. and Daniel Valentine will stop right there for a moment. A one-handed grab on 3rd down. It really goes nowhere. Well covered by TJ Frosty, one of the safeties, and Jack Napier and Bryant James will round out this defense. And it's 4th.
I love how TJ said, I was next on the list anyway. I'll make this tackle for you. Make it easy.
You caught that too, did you? This punt.
Whoa!
Chicago. And they will down it inside the 10 around the 6-yard line. So what the punt from David Arush seemed like it lacked in velocity, if you will, but it had a great bounce to it.
He's so lucky that that one bounced the way it did. That was absolutely off the side of his foot and shanked. He just got the friendliest roll I've ever seen.
But what it does is it puts Albuquerque with their backs against the wall for the moment anyway, just outside of the 5-yard line. And a spin move by Jason Williams. It goes nowhere. Nate Hall on the tackle.
And you see, this is a situation where this is why they used to run Oklahoma drills. And this is one where the Oklahoma drill tells you you don't have enough room to put on that kind of spin move. The most you've got is a nifty little foot shuffle and a juke move, or just lower the shoulder, move a stiff arm, something. Don't spin out of your shoes.
Kay Marion now in motion. She goes to the top of the screen. Again, they keep it on the ground, and right now Chicago has that running game really at a standstill, completely dialed in for the moment.
Completely diagnosed, and I understand why on this drive, why they're emphasizing the run early, because of how much their back is against the wall, but now you have to pass again.
3rd and 9 for Albuquerque. Pressure coming around the edge, but it's picked up nicely. Jive to throw, batted away. And just a magnificent defensive play by Chicago, and that will bring us to the end of quarter number 1. Albuquerque leading 7-zip. We got a long way to go in this one, folks.
Someone check Derek Major's pants, because I think that man's got stilts hidden in there somewhere. My goodness.
We welcome you back to the start of the 2nd quarter. Cameron Duty here with Alex West. As Killington lined up in his own end zone to punt this one away after a good defensive stand by the Chicago Warriors. And a good punt here. It is returned by Kyle Fenimore. He doesn't get very far, but he will start in Albuquerque territory at the 46-yard line.
And now we've got a big pressure that's really weighing down on Type Attack after all this. His defense has given him a couple of good stops. Yes, but he is still behind, and he needs to lead a drive that actually puts points on the board. He's across midfield to start this drive.
Type Attack under center. He gives the J.W. Doyle, lowers his shoulder, and gets 6. And that is the best run thus far by Doyle and company.
In fact, I think that's the best run we've seen all day.
Going to be close. I think the Williams boys there got close to that once before. Been quiet on the ground today. Oh, and another good play. So Patak here beginning to warm up. He finds Fenimore, and he's reeled off a couple of nice completions.
And now they're inching forward. They're finding a way to keep the defense guessing instead of being one-dimensional. Now, I question that pass selection, but he saw something he liked here because the safety was out of position and a little over to the right. So he was able to hit his man in stride.
Let's give a call to this offensive line of Matty Mack, Kobe Beef, Jess Fullerton Galarraza, and Sean Sullivan for picking up all that pressure that was coming around Patak. Back to the ground game they go this time, and another solid gain by Doyle. He gets a couple, so 2nd and 8.
And it's interesting at how, I shouldn't say interesting, it's actually very impressive how quick these Albuquerque safeties are getting to the football. Normally you think safeties making these kind of tackles is a sign that the linebackers are struggling, but that's not the case. The safeties are just fast.
2nd and 8 for the Warriors. A handoff once again. Strong run by Norman Gus. That's the first carry we've seen from Gus today, and that brings up a 3rd and 4. And yeah, let's not to be dramatic here, Alex, but they really need to convert here. Keep this good field position available to themselves.
They really do. Oh, look, secondary's backing off. They're looking for a pass here, I think.
Buchanan Simons, now the man in motion, going from right to left. Down to the bottom of your screen, and Patak to throw. Steps up. And he will run for the first. Oh, they're going to say he's just inches short.
Man. I would not be surprised to see a challenge here. Yep, there it is.
Well, if you had Chicago to challenge 2 plays before halftime break on your bingo card, you're doing well. Other than that, you're probably pretty surprised here. But we'll see if they can go 2 for 2 as we take a retroactive look at the play. Excuse me. As I said, get your console to play SFL on the go at GoRetroid.com. And looking at that, it looks like he should have the first here.
Based on where he's got the football, forward progress dictates that I think he's got it. Oh, no! He wasn't able to move his right arm far enough forward, and the angle we got didn't show us that.
My goodness. So football is a game of inches, and as we said, based on that angle, they're going to say he comes up just short. The reach for the marker wasn't enough, and instead it's a 34-yard field goal attempt from Christian Ronald Sui. And the kick is good, and Chicago is on the board after a 6-play, 28-yard drive.
And they're a little disappointed that Time Patak wasn't able to pick up that first down so they could try and continue to take shots at the end zone. But in the end, there's still going to be an exhalation of relief that goose egg is finally off the board. That's going to hopefully unseal their offense to continue to find ways to make it downfield and build some confidence for the squad.
Good kickoff here. It is actually brought out of the end zone. Ronnie Shanahan still on his feet, and he gets down to the 25-yard line. Folks, if you haven't been able to book your room yet for the big SFL convention, what are you waiting for? The SFL convention's headed to Baltimore for the 2025 convention, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season. That's July the 10th through the 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of the host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate only at simfl.net. First and 10 for Albuquerque, a toss play to the right. Good running lanes for Jason Williams. Heads a tackle and stays on his feet until he gets ample yardage and another first down for the Adams.
That was an incredible play call here. They knew that they'd been a little predictable in the last few first downs where they've been trying to run it between the tackles, especially off the guard. So this toss play, strong side, catches everyone off guard, me included, and there's so much running room for Jason Williams, who galloped for 14.
Cyrus Jive again settles under center. He will throw this time, a little quick motion there. Throws one out to the flat and just not on the same page as Justin Williams. We'll call out a miscue and go back to it on 2nd and 10.
And honestly, I'm going to put that one on Cyrus Jive because it looked like Williams was running where he was supposed to run, but Connor O'Shaughnessy was right there and breaking up that route with his big old body.
Jive once again to throw, pressure coming around the edges, and a beautiful one-handed grab by, guess who, Kay Marion. She does a great job of reeling that one in. And you know what? Let's go ahead and call that the nice hand catch, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands, then play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K 23. How about that grab there, Alex?
Couldn't agree more. That's the most impressive kind of catch. This ball is high. You have to sky to go get it. You're running a post route. You know the corner is there. Derek Majors puts his shoulder right in the rib cage, but somehow, some way, through sheer will, comes up with it. What a catch.
All right, so now look here. John trying to take off and use his shiftiness, but not able to do it. He's brought down behind the line by Sean Parent. All 330 pounds of that man crashing down on Cyrus Jive.
And this is because of an incredible job by, look at that double team that's happening on the outside for those two guys trying to stop. I think that's Darko Young on the edge there, who's taking up two bodies and completely sealing off the running lane that Jive was looking for.
So after a loss of 3, it's 2nd and 13 for the Adams. Pressure coming against Jive, able to get it off, and a nice one-on-one coverage by Chicago, and the deflection made by Doug Day to bring 3rd and long upcoming for this Adams team. Excuse me.
The man himself finally saying, nope, 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 this is a no-fly zone. Don't try coming over the middle with this. I'm here and I'm waiting.
3rd and 13 now. Jive, pressure again in his face. He unloads. This time he connects. Going back to the well, and that one is complete to Jack Wall for the 1st down.
And that's an absolute frozen rope that he throws out there to the former Canton Classic. This is a one-on-one route on the outside with a safety high to provide extra coverage, but somehow, some way, he finds that one slot for his man to go get it, and no one else can.
And how impressive was Jack Wall able to turn around there to adjust his body. Perfect timing between quarterback and receiver, and again there you will see 2 straight plays to Jack Wallace. The tight end gets a 1st and goal just around the 5-yard line for Albuquerque.
6'7", 255. He's a big target. He's very easy to find. Cyrus Jive also 6'5", easy to pick out the biggest man running routes downfield. It's not hard, and more than that, they clearly have some chemistry together.
Just about finished with the halfway portion of this 2nd quarter. Getting close to halftime. Albuquerque wanting to extend their lead. 1st and goal inside the 5. The handoff is to Williams. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and not much more. Tackle made by Derek Majors.
And when the field is this short, this is where Chicago's defense is going to count on a run play between the tackles or off the tackles pretty much every time.
2nd down. Keeping it on the ground and bulldozing into the end zone. Jason Williams for the score as Albuquerque extends their lead.
Oh, mama, that was just a run of pure spite. My goodness. There's bad intentions by the halfback on that one because he knew he didn't have far to go. All he needed to do was lower the shoulder and shove his way into the end zone, and he goes and gets 6.
So for Albuquerque, ending a beautiful drive with a very convincing rushing attack towards the end near the goal line. And they now will extend their lead at least to 10, going for the extra point to make it 11. And the extra point is good. 14-3, 4:45 remaining in this 1st half of play. And again, let us remind you of the importance of this game for both these teams. Of course, Albuquerque just needs to keep winning to stay right there in that 12th seed that they're in for just a moment in this SFL playoff picture for the week. Chicago, though, a loss, and their playoff chances are mathematically eliminated. So they're fighting hard, just like on this return. Getting it out to the 45 or 35-yard line is John Fullerton, where they'll set up shop.
It's truly, Chicago definitely feels it. This is the sword of Damocles dangling above their head. All they can do is give all that they've got on every single down, because if they so much as blink, they're going to end up consigned to having no playoff chances left. Albuquerque is more than happy to just take advantage of them at home, so let's see if they can rally.
First and 10 now for Chicago, and again, you know, it's interesting looking for the points because the offense doing a good job, Patak and company, just not been able to turn it into 6, if you will. 2nd and inches coming up. Showing a little motion that time is Chicago. Play clock down to 11. Oh, and a quarterback keeper. And so a nice job of Patak, able to just squeeze his way between the linemen and is able to slide safely to a first down.
And sometimes that's what you got to do, and Patak is more than happy to live up to the team badging and be a warrior on a QB sneak like that.
Ball at the 49-yard line as Patak to throw, and a nice play over the middle, connecting with Buchanan Simons into Albuquerque territory, and it's 1st and 10.
The offense moving right along now. I really would love to see them take a shot deep here. Some of these routes that Patak is looking at are going for, you know, about 10 or less, you know, maybe just a little bit more after the catch, but I haven't seen him take a shot deep on this drive. He had success in the last one.
3:20 and remaining here in this first half of play. They keep it on the ground. Running right side is Norman Gus, the rookie. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all.
Once again, look who's up there filling in that running lane, not allowing the running back to even get to the line of scrimmage. It's the strong safety, Bryant James.
2nd down and 10. Fake handoff, throwing into the flat to the tight end. That's Paulie Truth with his first reception of the evening. Brings up 3rd and 7. This is the part of the field here, Alex, where Albuquerque is able to really tighten up.
Absolutely, and 3rd and 7 is an awful place to be from the 30-yard line. This is a bit long for Cristiano Sui to be taking a shot at.
Throwing, bobbled, incomplete. It looked as if Arlovsky was going to be able to hold on to that one, but he was just simply put denied by this Albuquerque defense, and a great job by Torrey James, who was on the coverage, actually.
I felt the wind get knocked out of me on that one. Oh my goodness. That is, some of those pops that these receivers are taking look awful out there. This Albuquerque secondary is playing with bad intentions.
Roosh once again having to punt. This one is going to bounce into the end zone for the touchback. So just a little bit outside of their comfortable field goal range for Chicago, and that promising drive ends in 0 points. And for Albuquerque now, Alex, a chance with 2:21 in the first half to extend their lead.
And it's a question to see if they'll just try and run some clock here, or if they're going to try and go for the jugular here early and just get a 3-score lead going into the half.
Jive will throw, and over the head of his intended target. I do believe that Justin Williams may have got held up a little bit in traffic there. Couldn't get to the correct placement for that pass. 2nd down.
They do give the defense that 5-yard cushion from the line of scrimmage to be able to have some incidental contact with receivers and not throw the flag there. So that came into play on that one.
Clock stopped at 2:17. K. Marion once again in motion to the bottom of your screen. John hit. Coming around on that weak side is number 75 for Chicago, Connor O'Shaughnessy, and he just lays the boom on Cyrus John.
6'8", 292, and it's a two-part blitz that's coming between the linebacker and O'Shaughnessy on the outside.
That brings us to 2 minutes. Albuquerque with the lead, but the Chicago defense now pressuring just a little bit. You are watching the SFL on YouTube. Camera duty here with Alex West, Ron Haynes. We got Eddie Gage on stats and Cameron Irvine back at SFL headquarters. You see the stats for Cyrus Jive, 6 of his last 10 in the passing category. Look at all these receivers stacked up here at the top of your screen. Jive to throw, just out of reach for anyone. It falls harmlessly to the ground. It's 4th and 14.
Not only that, it looked like Derek Majors actually had that one bounce off of his hand. That one was going deep and not near a green jersey either.
So Killington again will have to punt, this time standing right at the goal line. And he gets a good punt off. It's going to be fielded around the 50, and the ball will be placed at midfield. 1:48, and Chicago has been gifted great field position thanks to a good defensive stand. Now, what can this offense do before halftime?
Well, with 1:48 on the clock and 2 timeouts, they've got a real shot to score points here, and they need to. Their one drive was from about this position. They were on the 46, 4 yards forward from this. So they got a potential to get back.
Patak to throw with plenty of time. It fumbled, almost intercepted. Off the hands of Jack Napier. They will live to play another day, but boy, that was close to being a dangerous turnover.
Clear the mind, Ty, but don't forget what you just saw, because clearly he got fooled on where that coverage was and what that secondary was doing.
Second and 10 for Patak, and he fumbled. Completely demolished. That's Leo Jefferson getting into the backfield and pushing this Chicago team back.
The former Atlanta Swarm player here, able to put a little move on the tackle there, find his way straight towards Ty Patak. He didn't even have time to register the footsteps.
It was Matty Mack who was trying to cover Jefferson, but like you said, that shifty move there, and it's a loss. And on 3rd and 15 now, Patak just trying to heave something up, and he does somehow. Complete to Ryan Orlovsky, and they will call a timeout, but I can't tell you just how impressive that was. We had a call for the nice hands catch earlier in the game. Well, that's another candidate there. That was impressive.
That was truly impressive. And on 3rd down, too, make or break time, and now this drive continues to stay alive.
Been the theme for Chicago today, just trying to stay alive in this game in their mathematical chance for the playoffs. Oh, off the hands of the intended receiver. He looked like he had him. That was Orlovsky once more, broken up, and it's 2nd and 10.
Tough ask to ask the 6'3" Orlovsky to masquerade as a tight end out of that formation and run a go route straight up the seam. You're just asking him to get in a world of hurt.
64 seconds is left in this first half of play. Fenimore in motion to the top of the screen. And here we go. Patak is set, ready to throw. The pass complete in stride to John Fullerton, and a timeout is taken after another 1st down.
And I just got to say, I saw the Chicago, there's a very good pass there by Ty Patak, but the outside rush, the defensive end there, I think that was Chris Porter, put a move on his man, was screaming again.
Fresh set of downs for Chicago, still with plenty of time to work. To be methodical here, don't do anything to turn the ball over, lose points. That throw out in the flat to Buchanan Simons is for 5. They will go no huddle. Stats for Patak. He's had a nice day. They just need to turn these stats into points. Throwing for the end zone, incomplete over the head of the intended target. He took a shot there, Alex. It just wasn't available.
Trying to find John Fullerton here but Fullerton's got coverage on the inside, and because of where they are on the field, there's a lot of time that the receiver has to get bumped a little off their route on these precise timing routes in a completely legal way, and it's tough to fit in these throws.
We've seen Daniel Valentine is going head-to-head with Fullerton quite a bit in this event thus far. Let's see what they can do here. Patak to throw to the end zone, almost intercepted, and that's what you talk about, the concern there of turning the ball over here in the red zone. That ball will fall to the ground, 4th and 5.
And with how short the field is, in addition to how this Chicago Warriors rushing attack has not been effective between the tackles, it was an obvious passing down.
Ronald Suey on to attempt the field goal, and he does so tacks on another 3 points for Chicago. Important, of course, because that with a 2-point conversion would make it just a 1-score game. So, you know, they don't get in the end zone like they wanted, but they do get some points, and that's critical here before the half.
It truly is, but to your point about not getting into the end zone, that 2-point conversion only happens if you get 6 in the first place. Just asking Christian Ronald Suey to do all your point scoring tonight is not how they are going to win this football game.
Ronnie Shanahan with the return does a good job of getting it out close to the 30, spotted at the 29-yard line. With 30 seconds remaining in this first half, we will see just if Albuquerque wants to be aggressive or if they want to just run this clock out.
They've got the personnel to go deep. They got 4 wide receivers on the roster and a tight end. You can definitely see some balls uncorked deep here. I can look for Greg Corky or Kay Marion. Kay especially, she's 6'6", 222. She's a big target out there and very fast.
First and 10 now for Albuquerque. As we said, a half a minute to play in this first half. They will keep it on the ground. And that kind of gives you an answer right there on what they intend to do with the final seconds of this first half. We may see one more play out of this Adams offense. So just a little quick dump-off pass to Justin Williams. And that'll bring us to halftime here in Albuquerque. We welcome you into this SFL halftime report. Cameron Duty and Alex West here with you. I'm going to recap first 2 quarters of action. Tell us what you've got, Alex. How do you feel about this game thus far?
Honestly, I'm a little frustrated with Chicago. They are doing some of the right things they need to do to manage an upset away and to keep their playoff hopes alive, at least in this particular matchup. All they need to do is figure out how to break some of these plays open a little wider, or at the very least, uncork some deeper balls in one-on-one matchups for type attack. But their running game has not been good enough to force Albuquerque to play up close to the line of scrimmage. It's been so tough for Chicago to get any rushing going at all. They're having to do everything through the air, and that makes them predictable, which means they can get stuff easier. Seeing it in the scoreline, and that's all I got.
Folks, let's take a quick halftime break presented by Brakes GPT, and we'll be right back to Albuquerque.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a giant Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Invite you to break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Brakes GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and so much more. Brakes GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Brakes GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner at BrakesGPT.com. We welcome you back to start the second half as Fullerton returns this kick out to the 25-yard line. And to your point, Alex, before we went to that small break, we talked about how Chicago needs to start converting on these third down situations in the red zone and get some touchdowns, this is a great opportunity for them to close the gap between themselves and Albuquerque.
And a necessary thing too.
Keep it on the ground to start this second half with J.W. Doyle. He gets 3, 2nd and 7 on the way.
But something to talk about as well is how rough the rushing attack has been overall. And it's been a thing that's plagued Chicago all season long. Coming into this game, J.W. Doyle is averaging 2 yards per carry, roughly speaking. Norman Gus at 1.7 yards per carry. We're seeing that borne out so far tonight.
11 rush attempts for 23 yards this far for Chicago, and that pass incomplete. So that quickly brings up a 3rd and 7, and not the way you want to start a series in the second half.
Not at all. And it looks like on that time, type attack got a little bit spoofed on what covers they were running and thought they were running man, and instead they were running zone. And so it bounces off at 33, Bryant James.
3rd and 7 now coming up. Pauly Truth going in motion for the Warriors. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Attack pressure coming, unloads, throws one incomplete. It's in the air, almost picked off by Frosty, not able to get there in time. It's 4th and 7, and not even a full minute has ran off the clock, and Chicago, unfortunately, has the punt.
Now 1 and 7. A few of these Chicago drives have felt like that, right? Blink and you miss it. Go so much as stand up and get a fresh bag of popcorn, and you've missed a whole possession series. They have moved the ball effectively closer to as the first half progressed, but Albuquerque's clearly done some adjustments in the locker room.
Flag is down on the return. We'll see what the official was able to catch there. And it's a face mask. That goes against Chicago, so Albuquerque will accept with good field position.
And that's just shooting yourself in the foot, right? Because this offense has also had a half to do some fine-tuning, figure out why they were able to score so easily early, and then they were starting to get a little bit stymied. See what they do now.
Looking at the team stats, as you can see, not different as far, they look pretty similar between the two squads, but the difference, touchdowns instead of field goals for Albuquerque. That running play by Williams goes nowhere. A great pursuit by Alex Bond, just a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, and it's also respect to both of these quarterbacks so far getting aggressive, but Cyrus Jive is 11 of 16 to type attacks, 10 of 19. Almost 70% completion percentage to hovering now around 50.
Jive can throw, and a nice adjustment mid-air by Kay Marion for the first down.
And she's just doing incredible work alongside Jack Wall out there. Jack Wall's tonight's favored target, 5 for 5, but she's now 3 for 3 with that snag. And honestly, she's proving to be a serious threat with how tall she is and how she matches up against this Chicago secondary just in size.
1st and 10, as you see the shadows there beginning to fall on this beautiful stadium here in Albuquerque. Toss play to the left. Ooh, a nice stiff arm by Justin Williams, but not able to get much out of it as the fullback. A gain of 2. Looked like it had a little bit more momentum, but instead, nothing to do. Quickly to the line for Albuquerque as they go here on 2nd and 8. Keeping it on the ground, and this time right out of the game. A great little draw play to the fullback, Patrick Pass. His first touch of the evening, but that's a nice little spark for this rushing attack.
Keeping everyone guessing there. They think they don't see Justin Williams in the fullback position, so they automatically assume that Patrick Pass is there to throw a block. No, he's happy to get a carry and move the chains.
Albuquerque moving the ball quite effectively here. They are on their first series of the second half, all on the ground. Oh, and refusing to go down is Jason Williams. You feel as if watching this ground attack go, they're just one block of really busting a big one here.
Or just one extra shifty move by a back, because they're just pounding the rock, and they haven't shown us that they've been doing that in the first half. So they figured something out here against the Chicago front.
Nice job of adjusting by Albuquerque. Again, we see Craig Reynolds this time in on the carry. Enough for the first down. So Craig Reynolds, Jason Williams, Justin Williams, and Patrick Pass all getting a carry recently in this game.
Happy to keep the defense guessing. They're just going to cycle through all the backs until the defense just doesn't know who's going to get the ball on the next snap.
And a fresh set of downs for Albuquerque. It is 1st and 10. Jive will throw with enough time there, and a beautiful adjustment by Jack Wall. As we said, he's been the favorite thus far this evening. The two-time All-Star who came over from Canton, making himself right at home here in Albuquerque.
And we just saw 4 run plays in a row that set up 2 first downs, and that made it so the defense was thinking in a short field situation, it's another run coming. Nope, big pass opportunity.
1st and goal for the Adams, and again, let me just say, obliterated is Cyrus Jive. And they put the hurt on him, and look who is in on that one as we see Doug Day.
Wiped out like an egg in a pneumatic press. My goodness, Doug Day unblocked because the pressure is coming. The blitz package that was sent was comprehensive. Each lineman had to pick up 1 blitzer, so that left Doug Day completely free.
Say what you want about the ineffectiveness of Chicago's offense, but this defense is fighting tough to try to stay in this game. Pressure coming again, and Jive just has to drop it off underneath. And folks, Ricky Robinson is down, an injured player on the field for Chicago, the cornerback in that time. He is down, and we hope it's nothing serious.
Definitely not. He's one of the 3 cornerbacks that this squad has. It's a contract star player. They're a little thin there, and so now suddenly they're going to have to ask K-Magic to step out on that outside roll away from her nickel position. We'll see how the defense as a whole adjusts. They do have a total of 3 safeties, so maybe we'll see Alex Bond or Nate Hall shift over.
And this is a big play right here, 3rd and goal. Can Albuquerque get into the end zone, or can Chicago hold them to a field goal attempt? 3rd and goal. Jive to throw to the end zone. One-handed grab by K. Marion. We've got too many Ridgewood hand catches of the day, and there's another one. Look at this touchdown pass. Beautiful, and the reception even better.
And it's just an incredible instance of Cyrus Jive's composure as the pressure is coming. He backpedals to buy time, sees the slant route developing over the middle, and knows that if he throws that one in the right spot, the 6'6" Kay Marion can reach up and grab it out of the sky, and she does. What a grab!
We talked about the importance of this drive, of that 3rd down play, how important it would be for Albuquerque to punch it into the end zone to extend their lead, and how important it was for Chicago to try to get the stop. Not able to do it though, and Albuquerque scores with the touchdown and extends their lead. Now Fullerton with the return. He's got a little bit of room to run. He gets close to the 35-yard line, and for Chicago here, it's just simple. Start turning field goals into touchdowns. This game is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not, but the offense now has the responsibility to come out and score a touchdown on this drive. Giving up a touchdown after forcing a 3rd and goal with a long to go situation where running isn't an option, and giving up a touchdown is such a punch to the breadbasket, and this defense is already gasping for breath. Cyrus Jive is 75% passing and having himself a day.
Doyle with the carry, running left side. He does get 3. So that will bring up a 2nd and 7. And I think, you'd also like to see a little bit of urgency as well, wouldn't you, out of this Chicago team? I mean, it's one thing to be, confident and comfortable in what you're doing, but, you want to see a little bit of a spark.
I would be fine with the run if they were averaging more than 3 yards a carry so far, but they haven't been.
Ooh, and a nice hit on Fullerton. Knocks that one incomplete. So again, 3rd and 7. And for this 3rd quarter, the last drive was a 3 and out, and they're 1 play away from having their 2nd 3 and out of the half.
1 and 7 so far now, trying to avoid 1 and 8.
An important 3rd down here, and nothing doing, just completely leveled And guess who it is in the backfield for another time? Big number 90, Leo Jefferson, completely plants Patak into the ground.
He's so quick at the defensive tackle position, especially for his size, that the guard and tackle both are trying to see. There's a miscommunication between the two of them on exactly who's picking up him because of the angle he's taking, the speed he's going. He exploits that miscommunication with ease.
Roosh is on once again for the punt. A fair catch is called for at the 35-yard line. So, Alex, as we said, 4:29 left in the third quarter, and Albuquerque knows now they could really be doing some damage, maybe smelling a little blood in the water, if you will.
Most certainly. This is an opportunity to widen the gap even further and put this game to bed before the fourth quarter even hits.
Handoff to Williams, who gets 4, 2nd and 6 now coming up for Albuquerque. Folks, how many likes do we have so far in this video? I bet it's not enough, so do us a favor and smash that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you've got notifications on so you won't miss a minute of SFL and SFLM action, and help this channel grow through your support. We would greatly appreciate it. Run this time right side, and not much for Williams as he gets a yard or so, so 3rd and 3 now coming up. And again, not to be, dramatic or to overstate things here, but it's important if Chicago can get off the field.
Truly, it's a moment where their defense has been forced to try and stand tall a few times, and they're running out of wind.
To the air they go. The pass, just kind of dropped. You don't always see that, and you can see that wall over there along the sidelines. He can tell he missed a really good one to catch.
For sure, Jack Wall just let the Warriors defense off the hook. The cornerback was not in a position to play the ball. That was an outside shoulder throw that was on the money, but just off of the normally reliable tight end's hands.
Low snap. Killington able to pick it up. Does a very nice job there of able to get that punt away. It is fielded by Fenimore and brought out to the 21-yard line. Again, Cameron Duty and Alex West here with you this evening on the call, and then we've got Eddie Gage and Ron Haynes doing stats, and Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters. Another exciting day of action here around the SFL. And a lot more to come, even some great matches coming up a little later this evening. This one right here, Chicago just looking for some offense, and there might be some that they have desperately needed. Buchanan Simons with a beautiful one-handed grab, and I think that's what I get. I called that Retroid handheld catch early in the game, the nice hand catch, but they've been showing up and showing out all evening.
All these receivers are looking to ball out today, and they are bringing in some very contested passes against extremely tough coverage from both secondaries. I am thoroughly impressed.
So am I. Everybody wanted to have a nice hands catch, and it's been great thus far. To the air once more, and that is, I believe they're going to say that was maybe ruled in.
No, they'll say it's incomplete. The clock has stopped.
There you go. Thank you. That's right. Yeah, along the sidelines there, that was Pauly Truth. Not able to get that one, and honestly, for the best. 2nd and 10 now coming up. Now to throw, and he certainly made Orlovsky climb the ladder for that one, but Napier coming up with a tough hit there, bringing up the 3rd and 10.
And that's such a nasty, nasty thing for Napier to do. For him to wait that long, he waits exactly as long as he needs to, and right at the exact moment lays the hit.
And isn't this an interesting stat, Alex? Pauly Truth, that's only that last pass that you've seen towards him, just his 2nd attempt the entire night. So they've not been able to get it to him at all. Now, lobbing it up there is the quarterback, and it is incomplete. Boy, I tell you what, he just kind of had to chuck that one downfield, Patak did, and good coverage by Jack Napier again and company. 4th and 10 now on the way for Chicago once more.
Not only that, double coverage, extra effort there by I think that was Amar Bryant Jr. to tackle the receiver to the ground after the deflection was made to guarantee no tip drill shenanigans.
Rush's punt is a good one, and it is down at the 25-yard line. So 2:42 remaining here in the third. This game still, though, hangs in the balance as long as Chicago's defense can continue to get Albuquerque off the field. But again, we talk about the importance of this game for Chicago. They mathematically can stay alive in a playoff race. It would take a lot to get them there, but if they win today, that's the first of many steps that has to take place. If they lose to Albuquerque, and as you see, they are down 21-6 at the moment, then they are out of playoff contention. Right now, though, the defense putting in the heavy lifting at 2nd and 11. Jive to throw it. We just talked about this defense putting in the extra work, trying to make something happen, and a turnover by K Magic. You said that she needed to step up and make a big play with Robinson out, and there you see it.
In the biggest of ways, she's matched up here. She's hiding in the, or she's in the slot on that particular play because of who she's assigned to cover being there. She's following the wide receivers that she's designated for and does a great job lurking on that one.
So, signs of life for Chicago if this offense can show up for this third quarter. Now, look at Tack stepping up, trying to get some positive yards, and he will. An interesting stat to mention, the majority of the ground attack has actually came from Patak for this Chicago offense. He has been about the only one who's had much effectiveness. 5-yard gain.
And they've all been on busted passes that he scrambled, too.
Throwing safe over the middle, but, you know, let's talk about Paulie Truth. There he is, puts his shoulder down and gets close to the first down marker.
I thought he was going to bulldoze that linebacker. Instead, he hits the ground. I was really hoping that he was going to run over him like a Tonka truck.
Minute 27 remaining in this third quarter of play here between Chicago and Albuquerque. Chicago needing to convert on 3rd and 2, and Zach is just going to run for it and gets the first, stands up, takes a hit, is able to get up, thankfully, off of the turf for Chicago fans, of course, breathing a sigh of relief after he took a shot.
That was such a wild play. It looked like it was going to be a screen pass out to the left side, turns into a Statue of Liberty practically over to the weak side. What a goofy way, but hey, it picks up a first.
They stood him up, had him around the ankles, and then TJ Frosty came in and laid a hit on Patak. That was nasty, but he is, as we said, unharmed and back for this play. Handoff now to Doyle, who gets 5, 2nd and 5. We're within a minute of this third quarter coming to a close.
Finally, some of this passing threat from Patak suddenly turning into scrambling. Everyone's eyes are on number 11. They suddenly sleep on the backfield. That's a great time to catch them off guard.
Now Patak again under center. He will throw. Pressure coming around the edges. Complete to Buchanan Simons. 1st and goal. The best looking drive we've seen this entire day by Chicago. Now they need to finish.
And they are now in truly the short field situation, which has been a plague for them. But this is such a nifty post route. That's that one-on-one on the outside, or excuse me, a corner route that's going to the outside there, and a great throw to deliver that one in stride.
Winding down to the final second of this third quarter, they get the snap off. Patak to throw, no, he doesn't get rid of it. He gets dragged down, and he is sacked. Talk about a momentum killer as Mills gets in for the sack.
Trying to do too much out there is Patak. You see how he tries to start and scramble, and prays a stiff arm will save him.
That brings us to the end of the third quarter. This game is not over yet, folks. Albuquerque leads, but let's hear the league rights, and we'll be right back.
This presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Chicago now with a big-time play coming up here, wanting to find the end zone. They don't want to settle for a field goal. To the end zone, and it is in and out of the intended target. Buchanan Simons, he just took a shot. Patak delivered the pass, but it was Bryant James who laid the hit.
And an absolutely brutal one here. He's tracking Patak's eyes, knows that that ball could be coming this direction, does not try to jump the route or play the ball, instead decide to play the receiver, and that is exactly the right call to make there. He throws the absolute wood on.
3rd and goal for Chicago. This Albuquerque home team crowd rises to their feet. Attack to throw to the end zone. It's intercepted.
Oh my God.
By TJ Frosty, and it is the best drive of the night for Chicago, and it ends in an interception. But we talked about how aggressive Frosty had been, especially the last couple of plays. He was hungry for that.
And this is an incredible job by the secondary as a unit, standing strong. Even in this short field situation, Amar Bryant Jr. is playing the one-on-one coverage on the outside and gives TJ Frosty the confidence to play directly for that interception with how he's attached to the hip. Such a great 1-2 effort.
So it remains just a couple of field goals for Chicago is all they've been able to put on the board. And on the other side, you've got Albuquerque with plays like that. Kay Marion making a play for player of the game.
What an explosive play that was. Dare we say it's the breakaway play of the game? What a deep ball.
Well, we'll just have to see as they are certainly on their way. 1st and 10 coming up. Albuquerque wanting to sign, seal, and deliver the notice to Chicago that they are out of playoff contention. They're just about 9 minutes away from doing that. Williams now with the carry, gain of 8.
And I'm just kind of in shock with how that deep pass just was uncorked, but because of how effective this passing attack has been and that deep ball from Jive, quick refresh of the mind after throwing an interception there, that opened up this run.
Second and 2 for Albuquerque, and
oh my God!
And it's picked up by Chicago, and that is Bond, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Alex Bond with the recovery. Aaron Gooden able to knock that one loose. And again, Chicago's defense coming up with a brilliant turnover, able to keep this team in it. What more can you say about this defense?
I'm speechless. They refuse to let this game be done with. They are trying to keep this offense in this game, kicking and screaming if they have to.
Now Patak back on the offensive, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Simons. Again, good coverage all around there, and it's 2nd and 10.
Patak has had such a tough day through the air. Yes, he's got 163 yards, but he's at 45% completion, and he's at a 48.5 on QBR. It's been rough.
Second and 10. Fake handoff. Patak going deep, and there he's got his man. For the first time today, it's John Fullerton breaking free. The best pass and reception of the entire evening for Chicago. Again, signs of life. This one is not over. They just need a couple more like that.
They really do, and it's the big play that, honestly, I've been waiting for so long. Credit to TJ Frosty for the touchdown-saving tackle in the open field against a man galloping into the green.
So again, 1st and 10, Chicago, though, they want to get that touchdown. They need the touchdown. Ty Patak senses it. We have seen him take the ball, take matters into his own hands multiple times this second half. Another positive gain of 6, and it's 2nd and 4.
I worry about how many hits like that he takes, but I agreed to not pass that to the flat.
Patak to throw. Incomplete off the hands of the receiver, who again just takes a shot. And it's Daniel Valentine over on the corner, able to deflect that one away.
These secondaries have been able to get to lay some very, very, very aggressive hits on receivers. We've only seen one defensive pass interference, and it was declined. That was in the very first quarter.
3rd and 4. Patak sends Fullerton in motion. 7:53 remaining in this hard-hitting football game. Now Patak standing in there, holding the ball as long as he can, and he throws an interception, the second straight for the series. And coming up with it, Daniel Valentine, just as we mentioned a couple of plays ago, this time he gets an interception of his own.
And type attack again, we've hoped for better from him. He's had some good days, but in this instance, he feels some pressure coming. The right guard's collapsing inward, so he throws this one on the move off his back foot because he did not feel secure in the pocket. He got bumped, and that leads to this throw being off target and very easily snagged.
It's Valentine's 4th interception of the season. So a great year so far by this young man. Now Albuquerque again with a chance to move down the field, put some points up. Another reception by Kay Marion. As we said, she has been the workhorse this entire day.
She absolutely has. She's up over the century mark now, and I would absolutely say she's so far my player of the game, if not for Cyrus Jive, because like Cyrus Jive is also having an absolutely outlandish day. He's at 71% completion percentage, 236 yards, 2 TDs. His only blemish is that one interception that he's thrown.
Kay Marion in motion once more.
Look at how tall she is compared to the secondary guy.
And they will keep it on the ground, gain of 3. And now, you know, the clock beginning to play a factor in this as well. And as you see right there, the graphic on the screen, an Albuquerque win will eliminate not only Chicago, but Denver, LA, Bossier City, and Vancouver. So a lot riding on this game for a lot of these folks just watching, not just Chicago, but other teams who are paying attention to this one. Toss play right side. Hill on his feet. And a good job by Williams to turn nothing into something. It's 3rd and 2 coming up before he's pushed out of bounds.
That should have been like a yard, maybe 2, but Williams lowering the shoulder there and finding his way to the corner there. Interesting they let the clock keep running.
6:25 and counting. On the ground once more and another first down. So now you see that Albuquerque just content now to chew up yardage and chew up clock as it's still working for them. They're pushing their way into Chicago territory.
It's all too easy for them at this point. They really just have to avoid giving up another turnover, whether it be fumble or interception. Just avoid those 2 outcomes and continue to move the football.
Play to the right there. Oh, and a stiff arm by Williams, weaving in and out of traffic there, trying to toe the line along the sidelines. His best run of the night, I dare say, and a first down.
And that is absolutely his most impressive run overall. The stiff arm shiver there to Nate Hall being a highlight that he's going to be happy with.
Talk about how much Chicago wants to remain in the playoff contention, but what about Albuquerque? They want to put those teams that we just mentioned, including Chicago, out of playoff contention. That's just less for them to have to deal with. And you can tell this is a hungry Adams team. As we mentioned coming in, Alex, the season started out rough, but they were able to reel off 3 straight, going for their 4th straight win and keep themselves above 500.
Indeed, but ultimately with Albuquerque, if they're able to win out, they have their destiny in their hands. All that you got to do to get to the playoffs at this point, in the words of Al Davis, just win, baby.
Well, plenty of time for John Nail to the end zone, and that we are going to call that. They play in the breakaway play of the game by Break GPT. And there it is, folks. We're waiting on that one play to seal the deal, and we just want to remind you that Break GPT sports memorabilia, you never know whose autographed helmet or jersey you might hit. Check them out at breakgpt.com.
You were right to sit on that one. I did call it early. Kay Marion tops herself yet again, and she is by far and away my player of the game now. 7 targets, 7 catches, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. She's averaging over 20 yards a catch. That's insane stat line. She's been an absolute beast.
Coffin nails applied to Chicago by Albuquerque. 28-6, Adams leading the Warriors. You see the frustration on the sideline for the Warrior team. And, you know, as you said, it's tough to see. And Chicago still has time on the clock, but a large deficit here, Alex.
Certainly, and you say it's not over until it's over, but I can definitely tell you just by looking around at the stadium at large here in Jornada del Muerto, it is a party atmosphere. Margaritas aplenty. Everyone is singing and joining hands, hugging it out. They are as thrilled as can be because their team just made a statement win tonight.
Now Patak again to throw, try to get some yardage, and there you go. Just as soon as we call this game, they come right down the field with a strike down to the goal line. That is Buchanan Simons. He's had a decent evening. That strike right there gives him some great stats and easily Patak's best throw of the night.
Oh, by far, but also look at the hard running by Buchanan Simons, who's trying so desperately to get to the end zone, but ultimately just gets run down. The touchdown saving tackle there. Crazy. I didn't think that he'd be able to catch up.
Great pursuit indeed. Still trying to keep Chicago out of the end zone. Not able to do it that time. Kyle Fenimore with the team's first touchdown of the evening. So a long way to go and unfortunately a short time to get there. But for Chicago, this feels good to get that first touchdown and they still have time left to work with.
It does mean that there is anything possible. Now we're going to see some onside kick action after this field goal goes up. Or, yeah, they will make it a point after attempt. For a second, I thought they might attempt a two-pointer, but they won't yet.
Christian Ronald Tui on to attempt the extra point, and it is good right down the middle. And so don't look now. Still a lot of work to be done, but Chicago, they've still got a pulse. And we'll see what they'll do here on this kickoff. 2
plays, 68 yards, 59 seconds.
The onside kick. Oh, it's popped! And Chicago gets it back. James Williams able to secure that one after the bobble by Albuquerque, and Chicago still has life.
It ain't over until it's over. The Warriors are still in this one and swinging. Oh, man, anything is possible.
So Chicago now with a new lease on life, if you will, and time to make some gains in this game. Patak the throw, the pass tipped and incomplete, and that may be what this Albuquerque team needed to just stop the bleeding and help them kind of regroup after that onside kick mishap.
And when you give up 2 plays that are immediately one for a big gain and then an immediate touchdown pass, it does leave you on your heels. So a great chance to reassert themselves by William Patterson.
Patak again to throw. Over the head of his intended target, incomplete. And now, you know, this Albuquerque defense is playing really, really well. But if you're Chicago, man, you don't want to let this opportunity pass you by. 3rd and 10 coming up here. They do not want a 3 and out.
You got a special teams miracle. You can't afford a 3 and out with how many chances your defense and your kicker have given you in this game.
Simons with motion to the bottom of your screen, and now we see Patak to throw, and nobody is home. 4th and 10. You can tell he was looking for Pauly Truth. A little bit of miscommunication there. Heads hung low. They'll head back to the huddle.
Honestly, I get it. There was a linebacker that was directly in the route where Pauly Truth would have been. Type attack trying to throw him open, but Pauly's just not fast enough to catch up to that one. 4th and 10.
No doubt, this is 4-down territory. Keep an eye on Pauly Truth. He's the man in motion. They like to look towards him in situations such as this. 10 yards to go for the first. Patak to throw. It's intercepted. Coming away with it and turning the other direction is Daniel Valentine. Patak making a touchdown saving tackle. But again, you talk about the defensive play of Chicago, keeping them in as long as they did. How about Albuquerque Ballhawks this evening?
Absolute menaces as a defensive unit completely. There have been 2 different players here that have earned incentives, and that first one was Leo Jefferson with his 3 sacks, and now Daniel Valentine with 2 interceptions, one to what we felt like might have put the nail in the coffin. A lot depends on what the Adams offense does here at this point and how much clock they can bleed, but Chicago's turnover bugaboos have come back to bite them.
The graphic says it all. 3 of 4 drives that have ended in an interception for Chicago. Now keeping it on the ground and not being denied is Williams, an 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2, as we are approaching 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
And honestly, just to talk a little bit more about Chicago's offense and all of these turnovers, it has been the story of their season where they have a very aggressive offense, but they are prone to give the ball up. Coming into this game, they had 25 turnovers, but only 14 takeaways, good for -11 on the differential.
Inside of 4 minutes now left in quarter number 4 at Albuquerque, wanting to continue to put some points on the board here and take some time off the clock. The play clock is down to 5 before he hands it off to Justin Williams, the fullback, who gets the first down. And now you will start to see a little more, as we said, letting that clock wind down to 5 seconds or so before they snap it.
And the worst thing about that interception is how close they are, how far down the field they already are, how little they have to work to continue to move the ball forward. They can just work as much clock as they please off. And Chicago is going to start calling timeouts after we get to the 2-minute warning, but they really need to force a 3rd down situation here.
But right now it's 1st and 10, and for Albuquerque, you're just about a 1st down away from ending this and sealing the deal. 2nd and 4 with Williams there on the carry. Let's look at Albuquerque's season so far, Alex. They started out with a loss to Atlanta. They win. They beat Denver. Then they lose to Baltimore. They win another to Fort Worth, and then they lose 2 straight, rock bottom for the season, if you will, as they lost to Arizona and Indianapolis. But then after that, Alex, 3 straight victories. Today, they're going for number 4 on the season, straight.
And the last one was such a big win as well. They beat the Riverhogs, who are admittedly having a rough go of it. They're 1-9 on the season, but the Adams won that game 63-17. Both the offense and defense clearly built a lot of confidence on what their abilities are, and as well as figured out maybe some nice game plan tricks on how they can effectively put games to bed whenever they've got a lead, because they have been leading wire to wire tonight.
2 minutes remaining in this one, folks. Albuquerque, 2 minutes away from dashing Chicago's playoff hopes. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Camera duty here with Alex West, Eddie Gage, and Ron Haynes doing stats this evening, and Cameron Irvine back at SFL headquarters. It's been an up and down day for both of these teams. Albuquerque taking the lead, though, and really never looking back. Chicago's just been stingy, able to stay in this one just enough. But with that 1st down, they'll start calling timeouts, and that'll just about do it here, Alex.
And this has just been emblematic of the Adams offense as a whole today when they've been figuring it out. The passing attack opens up the run game, and the run game is effective enough to where this defense is kept on their heels.
Play clock down to 5. Again to the ground for Albuquerque. Another timeout is called. And for Chicago, it really started on the season with dropping 5 straight losses before they get their first victory in Week 6 to Lexington. They then lost 2 more games, but now they did win 2 straight the last 2 weeks of the season on Indianapolis and Motor City. But, in a hole early on, and it's just tough to dig out of.
It really is, but also look who they've been playing. With one lone exception, they're only the one loss that I would say that's really a little bit inexcusable is losing by 28 to Pittsburgh back in Week 4. But anything can happen, and they were at Pittsburgh for that game. Otherwise, every single team that they have lost to outside of Pittsburgh has had a winning record, and not just a slightly winning record. Predators are the worst at 6-4. Everyone else has 7 or 8 wins. That is a tough road to sled.
Losing to Florida, losing to Charleston, Arizona, and Canton, all within the first 5 weeks. That as you said, tough sledding indeed. 4th and 2 coming up here as we are almost a minute and a half away from closing this game out. For the remainder of the season, Chicago will look. They've got a bye week next week. They'll come back and host Minnesota to end the regular season. And for Albuquerque, again, they need to keep winning to stay in this playoff race. They go to Bossier City next week, October the 13th at 6:45. And they finish the season in 2 weeks in Los Angeles on October the 18th. That is kickoff at 8 o'clock. 4th and 2 with a field goal attempt here by Ricky Bobby. The kick is good, 31-13. Will re-score. And Albuquerque and everyone here in the stadium is feeling pretty good right about now.
No doubt about it. There was a brief glimmer of uncertainty, I'd say, when Chicago managed to quickly drive the score and then won that subsequent onside kick, but failing to do anything with that onside kick recovery really took the wind out of the sails of the away squad. And I think they kind of understand they're going to play to the final whistle. They'll play for pride and the honor of the badge, but it's one of those things where now we know that this one's put to bed, and it's been a rough go for the Warriors overall. I still respect the absolute heck out of them for what they've done overall. They still have another rough ask ahead of them because next week for them is a bye week, but their final cap of the season was going to be the Minnesota Legend, the winners of their division over there in Central.
Attack will throw, almost intercepted, threw it right to the hands of the defender. Hey folks, we want to remind you we've got some great games coming up tonight, but also tomorrow, start your work week out with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green for another edition of SFL this week. That's at 7:15 p.m. Eastern before the Baltimore Vultures meet the DC Dragons as they renew their exciting series history on this week's Monday Night Spectacular. So you get a day of work in, you come home, you watch some SFL action, the kickoff at 8:15, and there's another interception. It's going the other way, and he is gone to the house. Corey James for the touchdown, adding insult to injury for the Albuquerque Adams.
Just salt in the wound there. It doesn't feel good is just the lightest way you can say it. It feels like a pit in the stomach. It feels like the world is crashing down because nothing has gone right today for Tide Attack. He's had one brief glimmer of moment where he's been the quarterback that we know he is. We have seen this man lead winning squads. We have seen him be an offensive rookie of the season and an all-star back in season 21. He is not a nobody, but this Adams defense has left him looking lost.
Bobby with the extra point, and again, as we said, just insult to injury there supplied by the Albuquerque Adams to this Chicago team. Fort Patak, 16 of 39, 4 interceptions, 1 touchdown, but a QB rating of 34.2. Final seconds as we await for them to tick away here in this game. Return now out to the 31-yard line. And I'll pick up what I was saying there. As we said, the Baltimore Vultures will meet the DC Dragons tomorrow night, Monday night, on the Monday Night Spectacular. The kickoff, 8:15 p.m. Eastern with the full Monday Night Spectacular crew. You can catch that right here on SFL YouTube. And also, Alex, coming up very soon, we want to make sure that people are aware of this. SFLM action will once again pick up at the end of October, and that's always exciting.
Oh, it sure is. I got to be honest, those are some of my favorite ones to call as well. I've been on some pirate broadcasts recently with JW and with Casper. Had a great crew. Love to work with them.
Truth catches that one and runs out of bounds, stopping the clock with 37 seconds. And a score update for you over in the other game taking place. Los Angeles leads Denver 13-10 with 1:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. So once again, let me repeat. Los Angeles leads Denver 13-10 with about a minute and a half remaining in that ball game. You want to turn over there and catch the end of that one. As the final seconds, after the final seconds remain in this one, Doyle now with the stiff arm gets out of bounds, 32 seconds remaining.
Now, who do you think's been the most impressive on the Adams squad tonight? Do you think that it's got to be the Cyrus Drive and K Marion connect 1-2 duo, or are you just enamored with the secondary like I am? Because holy moly, this Adams defense has been a menace.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, it really is. You're correct, Alex. Didn't tell you that, Marion, the effort that she's been able to put in. Can we do a co-game ball here? You know, they used to do that back in the day. John Madden and folks used to have the, you know, they would give it to, you know, 2 players. I would be willing to do that tonight because it sure is hard to pick between Marion and, you know, Valentine and the like, who have just did an incredible job this evening.
Well, you know, hockey has the whole 3 stars on the night system, but this is football, not hockey. We can only have one person carry the rock at a time.
And I tell you, yeah, tough crowd, tough crowd. Truth now with the reception, the stiff arm, stays in bounds, 22 seconds. Clock is remaining. I guess I'd have to give it to Marion if it were me. Yeah, I really would. I'd have to give it to Marion with some of the receptions that she was able to make, the clutch plays. That's who I would go with.
Quick update, we do have a final score. Denver 10, Los Angeles 13 holds, and that is the final on that one as we wait for the final score here. I think this might be our last snap.
4th and 8. Orp attack. Throwing deep. Incomplete. And as you said, 1-0 down away. And this one is over.
And I don't know what more to say here outside of just how impressive this Adams defense has looked as a unit, as well as the offense taking advantages of the opportunities that this defense has given them. But, you know, throw salt in the wound, why don't you, with a pick 6 to put this one to rest.
And there's the final need. The final seconds will tick away. And as we said, Albuquerque will go into this with their playoff hopes still alive for Chicago. A hard-fought season that will continue 2 weeks from now in Minnesota, but their playoff chances are over. 38-13, the Adams win this evening. Give me your final thoughts and your player of the game, Alex West.
So I really have to agree with you at the end. I was looking for some angle to maybe say it would be Daniel Valentine or maybe even TJ Frosty with how active he was in stopping the run. But overall, Kay Marion with 7 of 7 with how many yards she got was just entirely too impressive. Beyond that, this Albuquerque unit as a whole looks like they are well poised to win out going into the last 2 games of the season. There's a possibility they might find a road bump somewhere, but I think that they're going to be a tough one to beat, and I expect to see them in the wild card.
Folks, for Ron Hain, Eddie Gage, Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters, and my buddy Alex West, my name is Cameron Duty. Thanks for watching with us. Have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time.